In this video, I'm going to talk about Wing Chun footwork, how to do the stances and how to do the actions very simply. There are three main stances and there are three main actions associated with them. So here are the three stances and the three actions. Really quickly, just a brief overview of what we're going to see. Kim Yang Ma, which is the balance stance. Doi Gak Ma, which is the side stance. Do Ma, which is the forward stance. Actions associated with that would be Jun Ma, turning. So Gurk, sweeping leg or hewn bow, circling stance, circling foot, comes here, weight goes here. This then allows us to go to the next action, which is Bilma. Longer range, we Bilma here. Shorter range, we Bilma here. Maintaining connections to the ground as we do it. The Yiji Kim Yang Ma. So let me show you that first. The opening of the horse is A, B, C. All right? Now this is Yiji Kim Yang Ma. We often call it Kim Yang Ma for short. It stands for character 2 goat clamping stance. A lot of Chinese terminology uses animals as their terminology. Just know that it's a 50-50 weighted stance. So you're not more weighted on one side or another. You have your toes in. It is a pigeon-toed stance. The toes and the knees go the same direction. There should be a fist width between your knees. Now you don't want to go too low. Here's a very simple way to understand. A very simple way to understand not going too low is you go down to where you feel it's a little too much, and you come up just a tad from there. A simple way to know what to do. The toes point in some. You know, if you want more of a stretch, you can point them in further, but for the most part, they're pointing towards something that would be right in front of you. You can use a wooden dummy or some kind of object to make sure that you're making a triangle with where you're going. So just think, okay, something's in front of me, and that's where I'm pointing. Not too far in front of you, and also not really too close in front of you either. Kind of just a nice little triangle there. This is a training stance. This is not a application-based stance. It is a version of both of the stances, and everything can kind of transition there. However, in addition to being a training stance, it is also the in-between one thing or another. So every time you're practicing the training stance, you're practicing the in-between moves of something else. In other words, the point, the transition point between one spot or another. So understanding that is going to help you to understand why we do this stance at all. Okay, you're never going to go in you know, someone's trying to fight you, and you're not going to get into that stance. It is for development, and it's for the development of the point of in between everything. So let me show you the two main fighting stances of Wing Chun. Number one is the forward stance. Okay, Do Ma. Do Ma meaning the knife horse, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. So show you, it is basically here. Okay, we have different ranges in our Wing Chun approach. So in a longer range, it's going to take on more of this platform, a wider, and just a little bit wider this way. However, in the more traditional range of Wing Chun, it's going to be exactly, boom, boom, exactly this width apart, which if you see from the side is this and this. So there's how we know how far apart to get into. You just do your opening of the horse. So now as we're doing this, the hips in the traditional range or the closer range of Wing Chun are to be facing forward. This is called Ju Ying. So make sure that you have both of those. That's going to be weird at first because it's hard to have the stretching ability of bringing your hips straight ahead as you're also sitting into your stance. Now let me show you the side stance. This is the second of the application-based stances. There are only two basic stances that we use in fighting for Wing Chun. That forward stance was one, and the next one is the turn stance or side stance. Okay, it's here, right? So from this stance, we're side to our opponent. Side to our opponent. So it could be on this side too. So we had three stances there. We had the Kim Yung Ma, we got the Do Ma, and we got the Doi Gak Ma. That is the one called the training transition stance, the Kim Yung Ma. 2, the Do Ma, which is the knife stance, and 3, that is the turned or side stance. All these you can punch from either hand on all these stances. Now let me show you the three main actions associated with these stances. Wing Chun is a system of 3, so 3 is the magic number. If we're talking about the side stance, in order to get from one side to another, we have Jun Ma, or turning action. Now, there's many different ways to turn in different lineages of Wing Chun. For our lineage, we practice turning right on the smack of the middle of the foot. Some call that the K1 point. You don't need to know acupuncture or Chinese medicine in order to understand this. So I'm just going to tell you center of the foot. Keep your feet flat, turn, transition through the Kim Yung Ma, and then come to the other side. Okay? So this is our action of Jun Ma. This can be a very, very detailed action. In the beginning, just pivot. Just pivot. If you're looking for more detail in there, this knee leads the way. So as you turn, this knee leads, and then the other one gets pulled. So there's quite a lot of action going on here. Turn, knee, toe, hip, come. So maybe I'm more weighted on this side. Turn 50-50. And then I bring the weight more over to here. And as I do that, I Kim Sut or pull, clamp a little bit more. As I go to the other side, I pull, turn, and pull. Right? If you're adding a little forward energy to that, which you should, anytime you're pivoting, you have a goal that is more forward. This is a side stance, so it should come here and pulls together as we're doing things. You can use scissors with this, all kinds of different positions. But that is your Jun Ma, which is your turning from one side to another. Now we have our Bil Ma, and the Bil Ma is the advancing stance. So it is the action of the Do Ma, or 1 foot forward, 1 foot back stance. From here, we come step and pull, step and pull, step and pull. To come here and pull. Okay? Here, grab, pull. Keep your tingyu, your spine, connected to the ground as you move. Okay? Keep that the whole time. Now there's one more, and it is how to get from the doigakma into the doma. So we come here and around. Okay, we call this sogurk, which directly translates as sweeping leg. It's also been called a hyunbo or hyunma, where we're putting the weight here, circling and coming forward. From this stance, then we can take the action of bilma. But first, we've got to circle. It can also go backwards. From here, it can go backwards into this. Don't think that you're limited by these actions. When you advance, you don't have to only stay within the platform of the bilma, of the advancing stance. You can walk through. You can walk, all right? You can do that. Walking is walking through, and that's perfectly fine. You should also be practicing this walk. We call this Tingyu walk because we're maintaining Tingyu, but it's just basically Wing Chun walking. So to practice Wing Chun walking is just simply like this. This is Wing Chun walking. You're maintaining your structure as you're moving around. You can do it from a side to side kind of walk if you want to, but you should be able to move with your spine anchored into the ground as you go. You should not be limited to having to move like this, having to move in a small way. You're not limited to that. You can move bigger at times and smaller. Please start to understand that there are no limitations in Wing Chun. I don't care what you call it. You want to call it Jeet Kune Do, Kung Fu, Chinese boxing, Wing Chun, it doesn't really matter. But what I call Wing Chun is there are no limitations to it. So it's just a label. Let's not focus on the labels. Let's talk about no limitations to our footwork. And that way you can have an outside range, you can have a medium range, and you have a close range. The range is going to influence how you carry yourself, how you move, and your stances and things like that. That's why in my longer range advancing, my back heels up. So what? I'm still trying to keep my anchor with my spine, but I'm not so worried about being stuck to the ground in a longer range because stability isn't the priority there, it's evasiveness. Now, once I get into a range of more of a traditional range of Wing Chun, which I also call medium bridge or medium range, then yes, the heel is down and it's trying to stay connected to the ground as much as possible. More importantly than the heel is actually the spine connected into the ground. The heel is just one way to help the spine be connected to the ground. But a lot of things here. Hopefully this has helped a good deal. Leave me a comment. Let me know how you feel about it. Let me know what you liked. Tell me, what other videos you'd like to see me make, and we'll go from there. Thank you so much. I'm Adam Willis. Please subscribe to the channel, and thank you much.